Hi everybody, my name is Jens Larsen. The picking technique that I rely the most on is alternate picking. But there are other techniques that I combine it with, because there are things that alternate picking doesn't do that well, and that's especially stuff like changing from string to string or skipping strings. And some of the strategies that I use for this, I'm going to go over in this video. So I'm going to do some examples and I'm going to give you some exercises so that you can develop and implement those strategies into your own playing. If you want to learn more about jazz guitar, about improvising over changes or interesting arpeggios and scales, then subscribe to my channel. If you want to make sure not to miss anything, then click the little bell notification icon next to the subscribe button. The examples in this video are all F Dorian guitar licks, and they're combining a lot of different techniques. So there's going to be some legato and a few different picking techniques involved. In this video I'm going to focus on the different picking techniques, and I'm not really going to go into how I combine that with the legato techniques. That's maybe something I can do in another video. The first example is coming out of an F minor 9 arpeggio, so it's really coming out of this shape. I start with encircling the root, so I start on the G, down to the E, and sliding up to the F, then continue up to the scale. Then I'm sweeping an A flat major 7 arpeggio, so like this. And that's kind of giving us the F minor 9 shape here. The next part is combining some pull-offs and some economy picking. So I'm first just playing an F minor arpeggio in first inversion, so I'm playing the F, pulling off, and then 2 upstrokes for the 5th and 3rd, and then the same picking pattern but then on a C minor 7, so starting on the B flat, pulling off, and then 2 upstrokes. So this way of using a pull-off and 2 upstrokes together is a really nice way to play arpeggios, especially if you're playing them descending, obviously. So this kind of idea. If you want to practice that, you could take first inversion arpeggios through the scale on a string set. That could be an exercise like this. The idea here is, of course, that we're using the pull-off to buy the right hand a little bit of time. So I play the F, pull off to the E flat, and then I'm using a small sweep to play the C and the A flat, which are both like 1 note per string. And of course you can check out the exercise that I just went over, but if you never played like this before, it can be a good idea to just take this sort of little bit easier version of it and just stay with one shape and then get used to how the right hand should move. Because some of the other shapes like are a little bit more demanding for your right hand. So, sorry, left hand. So if we do this one, you can maybe just try and loop it and speed it up and sort of get it to feel easy to play, really. The next example starts with a scale fragment out of a minor pentatonic scale. So this is really the F minor pentatonic scale, but I'm playing it in a certain pattern where it's first 3 notes, 1 note, 3 notes, 1, and then 3 notes again. That works really well for playing certain figures in the scale, so that's why I'm using it. And in this case there's nothing really special about it except for the fact that, I mean, it's all alternate picking when I'm playing in the beginning, but I start on an upstroke, so I have this pattern. And you'll notice that the fact that I'm playing the upstroke in the beginning and I'm also playing an upstroke in the end of this 5-note pattern makes it easy to loop it. That's something that I'm going to return to in a later example. So from here, I play that pattern, pull off down to the E flat, and then up the scale. And then we get first an A flat major triad that is played with down, up, up, and then a C minor triad that's also played down, up, up. And then we end that with just alternate picking with a sort of a B flat sus4 triad. The idea behind playing both the A flat major and the C minor triad in this example is really just to make a triad into 2 picking strokes. So we have 3 notes, but we're going to play it more or less with 2 strokes. For the A flat, I'm playing down, up, up, and That's fairly easy to loop, and the same idea goes for the C minor. And of course, if you want to practice this, the thing you want to do is just to take the different types of triads and then move that along the neck, so that could be something like... Or if I do it on... And again, if you're not used to this, then just start with one triad, so you don't have to worry about your left hand. You can just focus on getting it to work in your right hand. So if you take the two-string version of a B-flat major triad, then that could be something like... And try and speed it up. And you can do the same with the three-string version. The idea in the third example is a little bit counterintuitive. Actually, I didn't find out about it until I started analyzing an example for one of my students. And the idea is here that we have a three-note structure with one note per string. So in this case, I'm using a shell voicing, so an A-flat major 7 shell voicing, so A-flat, C, and G. And the way I'm playing it is then 2 upstrokes and a downstroke, but I start with an upstroke, so it's like up, down, up. And then I'm using the upstroke at the end to get me to the lowest note in time. So. And that's kind of easy to loop once you get used to it. I think the first few times it's going to be a little bit tricky probably. And you want to do it exactly like I just did it. So just take that one pattern. Similar to what I already talked about with the other ones. And then just work on it like that. Of course, you can also take this through the scale, so if I do that, just using this middle string set and then the diatonic shell voicings, you get this. The example starts with this pattern, so first we get the A-flat major 7 shell voicing, so, and then I'm turning that into sort of a B-flat 7, the stagger 4s that's on top of a B-flat 7, so that's a quartal arpeggio from A-flat. And I'm playing that in completely the same way, so that's also up, down, up. Then we get 2 notes, so an F and a D, and that's down, up. And then I'm using 2 triads, which is A-flat and B-flat. And I'm playing those similar to the example that I went over last time, so that's going to be down, up, up, down, up, up, and then down, up, and then resolving to the D. Of course, you want to work on these different techniques and get them into your system, but probably you also already at an early stage want to think about how you can combine it with other techniques, because as you can tell in the examples that I'm playing, I'm really combining a lot of different things within a very short amount of time. And I think if you start thinking like that, you're also much quicker going to get to the point where you're not so much worried about which technique to use, you're more worried about how it sounds, which I think is probably a better problem solver and certainly a more musical approach in the end. An example of that would be the 2 triads in the second example, where we first have this variation for the A-flat major, so, and then a similar but still a variation on this for the C minor, which is using the 2-string version of the same thing. And you can of course just continue that idea, so, or maybe, so in that way you're starting already to combine things. And you probably also want to already think about adding more legato things in there, because the legato, the way of using legato in jazz is very often to almost ghost some notes, because you'd only want to pull out certain accents, and the accents are really giving the life to the phrase and making it sit right in the groove and making it interesting to listen to. So if you start using not only picking and pick every note, but also use a bit of legato, that's a little bit easier to bring out, but maybe that's something I should return to in another video. If you want to learn more about jazz guitar and this is the first time you see one of my videos, then subscribe to my channel. I publish a new video every Monday and Thursday, and I've been doing this for quite some time, so there's already a lot of material on my channel. If you like this video and you want to help me keep making videos, then check out my Patreon page. I'm very grateful for the support that I'm getting from my patrons, and it's because of them that I can keep on going making all these videos. So join me over on Patreon, and if you're over there, I can also give you something in return for your support. That's about it for this time. Thank you for watching, and until next week.